Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Discovery Scouts here in the Pirates of the Caribbean film series here. Captain Simon Perriman here. Today is Tuesday, November 23rd. Today should be, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. It's just gonna be the process anymore. Today's Tuesday, November 24th, 2020. Um, we're just again to look up it again. We're just been in a look up it again on a YouTube channel. It's called, the New Zealand, the Hunter, the Call of the Wild, the new map today on 2020 today. That should going to be the last day of the 2020. That should be the 366 days at about Quadricolinas, Silver Peaks, and now for on the New Zealand as a new map a day and about a new look at first look at reserves. So we're just doing it under the 2020 today for the last day of 2020 for 366 days. PCs should be available now for trailers for right now, and we're just gonna do for the processing to the hunter called the wild in New Zealand the full trailers today. There could be the one of the five deer species. So those are including New Zealand goats and including kangaroo stuff for the wallaby, and they have a ducks and European rabbits. So sometimes we can guide. You can always take a look at it about a couple of things in a time. So the wait is over right now for from Halloween. That's the horde and a hunter called the wild. So I just completely out of the control. So for the boar, so the cursed boar was gone today. So all the wild deer is just free from the castle. So all we're gonna do, we're just gonna do 11 or 12 species that are about in New Zealand, and overall look out for the new map for the first look, and about for the full trailers for the Call of the Wild for 2020, and those are including for the about instead of one of the things about the first looking for the about spring 2021 for the later new map today. So that goes to the for the April 2021 today. So and the second letter that could be the August 2021 too, and it could be one of could be one of it could be one for the takes about 4 to 6 months. Um, the things you're gonna need to do, we're just having the hardest thing at that time. We're just having the big workout to do something about from the moments ago. It's really good the message for you guys. So even in the Red Deer stills at about the four of them from Park Venado, Hirschfelden, and Quadricolinas, and the now on the New Zealand today, they do have the Red Deer and the New Zealand. So they do have the new animals here about Swusa deer, Sambar deer, and fallow deer, including the white-tailed deer. It didn't have it. If a white if they have a white-tailed deer, do they have it from the Leighton Lake? It could be processing from Pacific Northwest and Washington State and Oregon, and including one for the U.S. states, the USA for the whitetails, because they have the New Zealand whitetails on it as far as we're concerned, just like about American whitetail and the New Zealand whitetails. Um, that's a called five species. So they have still fallow deer in the New Zealand's from Hirschfelden in the Central Europe and Germany, and for that, it could be one of to get to the process and the minimal ways it could be about PCs and Xbox on available now. It could be before the before the before you go to the holidays on the Thanksgiving on Thursday 26. So that'll be reconfirmed in about the fall trailers. It could be tomorrow. That could be one of the teaser trailers. I'm also gonna be including the five deers and New Zealanders, wild goats, and the wallabies. They have the kangaroos on it. That could be one of the class one and two, three, four, and there's gonna be six or seven. Gotta be the class six today. So that could be no carnivores that are allowed there at about no carnivores that are allowed in the New Zealand today. So no wolves around, no wolves allowed, no dingoes allowed, and no tigers allowed. So that would be no bears allowed to do. The only about European rabbits here, ducks, and the red deer, and the five deers, and the wild goats and chamos, and all we're gonna do, which is checking in for about class 3, about regular normal goats. We're just gonna have to do something about extremely we can do, and just make sure you watch it on YouTube channels and subscribe to there on the Dispenser Worlds. And make sure to don't forget to the hunting reserves to the Park Venano, Coachicalinas, Hirschfelden, Leighton Lake, Yukon Valley, Silver's Peaks, for Hunger Savannah, and Maverick Taiga, and later on. So the night later on for the new reservers at about April 2021, and the next thing to remember the night reserves it could be for New Zealand because they have about 12 species about animals here. If they do have for the white-tailed deer, as far as you're concerned, some people did have about the New Zealand white-tailed deer hunting. That could be one of we confirmed to for the trophy scores. I know such things about the same as the deer from Leighton Lake for the whitetails. And those are the including for the trophy bucks here. They have black buck, blacktails, mule deers, and the whitetails, valor bucks, roebucks, and the red stags, and bull reindeers, and the bull caribou, and the bull moose, the bull Roosevelt elk as bull, and the Rocky Mountain elk is a bull, and including plains bison is the bull, and European bison is the bull, and the Cape buffalo as known as the bull, and the water buffalo as the bull too. That's all half of the males. They have a, so we just wanted to continue to take on a hunt about male pumas and mountain lions and the male black bears and the male grizzly bears and the male brown bears and the male Eurasian lynxes and the male European rabbits and white-tailed jackrabbits as the males, and including mullet ducks as the male, as the female is just okay with you. So cinnamon teals cinnamon teal ducks is about cinnamon teals just as known as about male or female. Hartgren ducks male or female, and including red fox male or female. Gray wolves just the males, and Iberian wolf just as the males. Bassetti ibex all the males. Guano ibex as the male, and the male Guedos ibex, and male sized Eastern Spanish ibex, and including wild boars here, just the males, only for the males here for those guys here. Um, if you do something about worldly extreme, if you find the 7th very hard brown bear named Maverick Taiga, and the Yukon Valley in the grizzly bears, if you find it a different 7 very hard in the 8th mythical, and the 9 legendary grizzly bear is almost very hard. It's about very hard to about the 300 Canaan Tonto ball action rifle ammo here. If usually they have New Zealand the new weapons available here at about the full trailers, and mostly thinking about extensively the world extreming. They have an extended upgraded info for the Axis deer from the next months ago. For small to medium, it's taller and bigger than the bow for the whitetails, the blacktails, the fallow deer, and the mule deer. Just greater than about the larger, just like the blacktails, the whitetail deer. I forgot something about the whitetails. Some whitetails in New Zealand. Red deer still in New Zealand. Fallow deer still, and we have Rusa deer and sandbar deer. they do have exactly was same as the problem. So let me ask you a question for you guys. So do you think for the five deer species on in New Zealand, it takes out as a yes? So red deers won't mostly take that as a yes. Fallow deer most take that as a yes. New animals here, the two of these are about Wusa deer and the sandbar deer. And do you think the white-tailed deers in the New Zealand should take that as a yes? So we're just having to talk to her about extremely good. It is not that about the delay today. It's not gonna do lock it down without the game permission today. So DD33 and Expensive Worlds just addresses to each other's addresses to the column about the new scene on new map today for new first look at about for now for December 2020 and the 31 days ago. Before the end of about 2020, I usually before during the before we could started to shut it down for about the scenario one, the wave one, and about lock one, a lockdown about 8 months ago. So the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic could be scenario two, and the second wave is mostly they're been shut down to about 20 days left, and including the new restriction orders to about the five things that are closer to the indoors a day. That would be the gyms, movie theaters, museums, restaurants, and bars. And they still have the 20 days left. So all I have to do is just take a look at it to the new reservers to the new map today called the 12 species. Lots of animals to do. There'll be no dingoes here. There'll be no dingoes here without the small carnivores or without the class 5. Without the class 5 for the Eurasian wolf, we're not allowed to bring the wolves here in New Zealand. So only for the 12 species of the small, the regular and large herbivores here in the New Zealand. And that could be it. Alright guys, so make sure you don't forget to subscribe to my contest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or via cameras, Cocker Story, Cocker Talk. Subscribe to the YouTuber gamers show about DG33, Ramen Tubes, Flinters, Zaggy DK, Jackson Beard, and Spencer Worlds, and Kill Clinton, and as well as about we were just working for. Don't forget to subscribe to the day about that lady just played again. That lady just about playing the call a while ago. They're gonna have grizzly bears and wolves, caribou and moose and bisons and fox and duck and the Harquin ducks. Still have a seven species that are about Yukon Valley and Park and 8 species that are about Leighton Lake and Hirschfelden, and the 6 species about Mauvais Taiga and for Hunger Savannah and Silver Ridge Peaks, the same as about 9 species. And the two more to go than the one for the species about 10. That could be Bassetti Ibex, Guedo's Ibex, Southeastern Spanish Ibex, Rana Ibex, Iberian Mouflon Sheep, Iberian Wolf, European Hare, Red Deer, Roe Deer, and Red Deer, and including wild boar. So be sure about the subscribe market to be continuing on the 100 core of the wild quadrillionaires to story the side mission. And there's a New Zealand called the story missions. It could be one for about side mission to be only. So be sure to take a watch it on the YouTube channels on the New Zealand on the Hunter Call of the Well. Feel free to watch it on the reaction there for the new map. Don't forget to keep it rigid. See you guys later.